I thought you wrote a great piece for Boston Sports Journal recently. I think it was either today or yesterday. I just read it today. And it had to do with the defensive backs of the Patriots and how much money, which is $54 million, that the Patriots have poured into this secondary. And your basic point here, and I know you'll expound upon it, and we'll talk about it more, but your basic point, the gist is, Greg, they got to make that money this weekend. You're paying those guys to play, and you're paying them a lot of money compared to every other team in the NFL. And if you're going to utilize that kind of talent in the secondary and you're going to pay that kind of money, this is the kind of week you need those guys to ball.
Yep. I mean, Nick, we know Bill Belichick doesn't do anything by accident.
Nope.
So that he has the most cap money allocated on this team to the secondary, there's a reason for that. And it has to be for against the Chiefs. I mean, you don't need the secondary against the Ravens, even though those small sort of tackling guys will help against the Ravens once they see them again. But this is the plan. They built up the secondary from Stephon Gilmore, giving an extra $5 million to Jonathan Jones. They extended. Devin McCourty is well paid. All these guys across the board. I mean, $54 million. I mean, that's like, I'm trying to do the math. It's basically like a quarter of the cap for.
That's a whole lot of money, Greg, is what it is.
Yeah, it is. And look, I'm all for it. We know how talented the secondary is. We've talked about it for a couple years now about how good they are, and they're the best in the NFL. And I do think they are up there, certainly in consideration. So why can't they go out there and shut down the Chiefs, or at least keep it close? And I think that's part of the path to victory that we talked about is, they should be able to match up with these guys. Yeah, Tyreek Hill is great, and Hardman is fast when he gets out there. Robinson's good, and Sammy Watkins and Travis Kelce. Yeah, well, the Patriots should have the defensive equivalent of that when they hit the field, and I think the pressure should be on them. Now, look, I'm not dumb enough to say it's all on them, because we all know that pass coverage and pass rush, it's in concert. So right. The secondary is only as good as the pass rush. And I do have a lot of concerns about the pass rush in this game, the front seven to this point, and also in this individual matchup. But in terms of matching up man to man against this KC juggernaut offense, and they are terrific, they should have the answers, or at least the ability to keep them in check and keep the game within reason so the Patriots can have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, another part of that story that you wrote at BostonSportsJournal.com breaks down the matchups and what the Patriots have done their last meeting against Kansas City. For example, you have Jones going against Tyreek Hill with help over the top. So if you want to check out those individual matchups, you can do that with Greg's story at BostonSportsJournal.com. Big picture, Greg, when you look at this defensively against Patrick Mahomes in what is a very talented, offense for Kansas City, do you think we see, you love calling the guys the Lollipop Guild, do you think we see that Lollipop Guild out there on Sunday against this offense?
I think we might. I think we might be looking at a situation where we've seen in the past against Peyton Manning, whether it was with the Colts or with the Broncos, where the Patriots invited them to run, basically, and dared them to run. Because, look, we all know the Patriots, Cam Newton may be great in this game. He may be able to run. He may be able to pass. But this offense is not going to be explosive. I mean, they're going to need help. They're going to need turnovers. To get into the 30s. I mean, they're just not that type of offense right now. But, I do think that there's a situation because, I'm very worried about once the Chiefs go, one running back, 3 wide receivers, Kelce, how are they going to match up with Edwards-Helaire and also their other running backs? I mean, that was a guy in the draft process. The first time I saw him, I was like, oh God, I hope the Patriots get him. He's like Kevin Falk, 2.0. He's that good. I think Nick, I've actually been surprised at how much they've given him to do early on. I mean, first game he was out there carrying the ball all the time. I mean,
he was dynamite in week 1.
He was. That's a lot for a rookie, and I just wonder if he's going to be able to last with that kind of workload.
Well, how dare you, Greg? I have him on fantasy football, so hopefully you did not just jinx me.
Yeah, hopefully not. I have Sony Michelle, but that's a thing for another day. So I worry about how they're going to match up, and if I'm the Patriots, and we've talked about it, about how in their 2 wins, the Patriots, like, their path to victory was basically get an early lead or get a lead at some point, get up 2 scores, and now all of a sudden you're forcing the other team to play on your terms, which is to throw into the secondary. The pass rush can pin their ears a little bit back. Like, that's how they get, a more comfortable margin of victory. And I think that's sort of where they need to go right off the bat against the Chiefs. I mean, if I'm them, I'm going 3 or 4 defensive linemen. I don't even know at times whether I'm putting a linebacker on the field. I might do that. I might take Bentley off, and I might go Terrence Brooks and say Kyle Duggar at linebacker.
Right. Yeah, because one of those matchups that I'm concerned about, if I'm New England, obviously, is you get Bentley matched up with Edwards-Helaire, and that's a nightmare. And we saw, even last week against Baltimore's got that fast linebacker, Patrick Queen from LSU. He goes sideline to sideline better than anybody, and they still had the wheel route action pretty much with CEH coming out of the backfield, and he went right by Patrick Queen. And if he's going to get by Queen that easily, he's going to burn by Bentley. So, I agree with you. I wouldn't be shocked at all if they put the extra safety in there and take the linebacker off the field at times.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them do it a lot. Not when they put Sherman, the fullback, on the field, obviously. But I just last week against the Raiders, how many times did we see, whether it's Josh Jacobs or Jalen Richard, their pass back sort of, start out wide of the formation, and Bentley would go with them and then go in motion. And I'm just like, holy cow, how aren't they just, running wheel routes all day on Bentley? And there were, we talked about it in Tuesday's pod about how there was a play where they did have Jacobs one-on-one and a perfect play called by Gruden, but Derek Carr screwed it up. Patrick Mahomes is not going to do that. And so trust me, they saw the film. If the Chiefs see Juwan Bentley matched up with anybody one-on-one, they're going to go after him, and they're going to need a lot of help. So I would like to see the Lollipop Guild, and I'm going to ride this thing the whole season, because that's basically where they are. It's like Bizarro Belichick. Belichick used to have the biggest, meanest guys on defense, and we all heard about how, big people punish little people and all this stuff. And now it's just like, it's 7-on-7 flag football on grass with this defense. But that's where they are, because they just don't have the talent at linebacker right now. And I think, I'm putting 2 safeties at linebacker. I'm taking Bentley off the field and inviting the Chiefs to run. And if they don't, then I match up better in the pass game.